Hey everyone, and welcome to Victoria's Cantina. Today we're having a look at the Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series, Kmart exclusive Sergeant Jyn Erso Eadu 6-inch scale figure. This is third in the line of Kmart exclusive 6-inch Black Series figures that comes with a sizable environmental display piece. And I'm kind of glad that they're continuing doing that because I'm a huge fan of what they did for The Force Awakens with the Kylo Ren and Rey 6-inch figures that came with snow bases. I think that the execution on those, particularly with Rey's base, were very well done, and it was really cool you could connect them together to make a larger diorama piece. And I presume that there's going to be another one coming as well. If you recall seeing my reviews on those other two figures, the box that we get here is essentially the same exact thing. It's an expanded sized Black Series box. You get a very nice image of Jyn Erso down in the lower right, as well as some rain that's hitting around her. And even the insert behind the figure itself, you can see more rain in there too. This side of the box says Sergeant Jyn Erso. Opposite side, there's no numerical designation present. On the back, you get the same image of the character as well as a description about her. Now it says, a highly skilled soldier in the Rebel Alliance, Jyn Erso is an impetuous, defiant warrior eager to bring the battle to the Empire. Jyn has little patience for debate within the Alliance High Command, enough so that she takes matters into her own hands. There's your image again of the character. No rain around her this time. Here it says Disney. Visit them online, StarWars.com, StarWars.Hasbro.com. Some warnings down here in different languages, Hasbro logo. Up here at the top, you get a window inside, and down there at the bottom, there is your UPC. Now, my local Kmart closed down earlier this year, so I was not able to get this through my local Kmart. Fortunately, Kmart.com got them in stock. What I had to do was I had to order it on Kmart.com and have it shipped to my local Sears. These retail at $24.99, which is $5 more than a usual basic figure would cost, but you do get more accessories and you do get the large display base, so I'm okay with that. And I'm really intrigued by this character, so I'm really excited to get her out of the box and see what she's like as a figure. Okay, so out of the box, Jyn comes exactly like this. She's standing on her base, she's armed with her weapon, and she comes with that other little accessory off to the side. So let me go ahead and get her off the base. And this is an interesting figure. I like what I see for the most part. It just doesn't seem like it's quite up to the standards of the Star Wars 6-inch Black Series. And we'll get into all that in just a minute. But looking at the figure herself, you can see that she's wearing a very nice sort of coat. It's maybe a raincoat of sorts. I'm not too sure, but it looks pretty good. And it's kind of a little bit reminiscent of what Princess Leia wore on Endor. She's got pants, she's got boots, she's wearing a hat. She's got these goggles on the hat, and then she has this sort of breathing apparatus that's hanging around her neck. And I'll go ahead and give you a close-up here of the head sculpt. And, you know, it doesn't really look that much like Felicity Jones, like, at all, really. I mean, it just doesn't. It looks more to me like Summer Glau. I mean, it doesn't look bad, per se. It's a nice-looking figure. I mean, if they're going for, like, pretty, or if they're going for, you know, something that's a little bit more feminine, well, they accomplished that, but it doesn't look like Felicity Jones. It just doesn't. I think she has more of a determined look in the Rogue One trailers and posters and such. And this just looks a little too clean. It looks a little too pristine. Again, it looks good. It just doesn't look right. As far as the paint applications go, they're good. The eyes are nice and clean. The eyebrows look nice and even. The lips are painted with a little bit of a mauve sort of coloring. She doesn't really have blush on her cheeks, but they are sculpted in a way that makes them look, you know, quite feminine. She's got high cheekbones. And the hair itself is, I think it's attached to her hat, which the hat comes off if you wanted to take it off. And there's not a whole lot to it. That's the top, that's the bottom, and it's got some goggles that are permanently applied to it, and you can see the figure better without the hat, and I actually think it probably looks a little bit better with it. It just doesn't look that spectacular to me, even though it looks, you know, half decent. It just looks strange. It doesn't look like Felicity Jones at all. And the hair itself, you can see, is sculpted pretty nicely. It looks like it's colored just, you know, like a dark brown color. Not a whole lot going on to it. She's got a ponytail that you can kind of barely see back here. So that's really all you're going to get to it. You can see her ears peeking out there from underneath the hair. She does have this breathing apparatus that's connected here from her neck down into this pouch right here, which I assume, or I guess it doesn't even go into the pouch. It goes back into this little thingy right here. So I guess that she's breathing whatever's in there, maybe oxygen, I'm not too sure. As far as her rain jacket goes, it's a nice looking cloak. It's sculpted quite nicely. You can see that they did a nice job with the arms and just giving them nice sculpted detail. And the coat itself is actually a separate piece that's attached to the figure. It just kind of sits over it. Doesn't seem like it's something that would come off though. But it's nice, it's lengthy, and you can see there's a little hood back there. And it has some very nice paint detail to it. I really do like the paint detail. You can see it's got a very nice wash. So it's basically like a dark green, but the wash itself seems to be maybe like a lighter sort of green color. It just makes her a really nice aesthetic, so I do really like that. Her hands look a little bit on the small side. They really do. And she's got like these brown gloves on them. And it looks like she's got these brown pants, very dark brown. She's got a holster, which actually has a blaster in it. And we can unlatch it and we can pull out the blaster right there. And the blaster itself is quite simplistic. The pants themselves are nicely textured. I don't know how accurate this is to the film. It almost seems like that sort of thing where maybe they textured them a little bit too much, but maybe it is film accurate. Again, we'll just have to wait and see. The boots themselves, it kind of looks like her pants maybe extend like below the knee, and she's got these short boots on. They're like low-rise boots. And they're kind of like a brown color. You get a little bit of silvery detail there around the buckle. Not a whole lot of detail, but a little bit of paint detail there. And there's almost like a corduroy sort of look here in the bottom of her pants right there. She's got like a little band right here going along lower left leg and the lower right leg as well. And the boots themselves do have these low heels on them, and then they have peg holes on the bottom. Now, it is a little bit hard to get her to stand. And I'm trying to figure out why that is. I mean, it looks like she has a decent enough surface area on her feet, but it just seems like the center of gravity is kind of off on the figure. Like, she's got these really skinny legs, and then I just think she's a little too top heavy, for one. And two, the other thing is that her legs come a little bit warped because of how she's situated in the packaging. Like, if you look at her thighs right here, they kind of stick out a little bit. So, you know, that is a hindrance to getting her to stand. So she is a little bit tricky to stand. I mean, it seems like if I get her to stand, I kind of have to tweak her a little bit to where you can see she's not standing perfectly straight. I mean, I guess at least she stands right, but yeah, it's kind of annoying when figures are so difficult to stand, especially when they have all this articulation. Now, speaking of articulation, you get a ball joint here at the head, and you can see where it connects there at the neck. So you can move it up, you can move it down quite a bit. I'm actually pretty pleased with that. Move it side to side. You can do not really a head tilt, but you can move it at least. She's got ball hinging at both of these shoulders, and they're not really restricted. It doesn't seem like they want to stay all the way up, but they're not really too restricted because of the cloak. You can move them around like that. She's got ball hinging at both of the elbows. At the wrists, she's got bends and swivels. The left one goes up and down, whereas the right one goes to the side like that. So that's all right, I suppose. And it seems like underneath, she's got, it seems like a swivel joint down here. And then at the hip, she does have ball hinging. She can do a decent enough split, but it is a bit hindered by the sides of her cloak. She's got swivels at both of the thighs, so you can move them like that, which does help somewhat with the posability. You get double bends here at both of the knees. And then you get ball hinging at both of the ankles, along with rocker swivels. So by and large, she is nicely articulated. Some improvements could be made in order to make it a little more fluid up here in the shoulders and at the hips, and in order to get her to stand a little bit more easily. In the way of accessories, I showed you that she does come with a pistol, and it's actually a really nice looking pistol. It's basically black with some silver paint. It's very nice glossy paint to it, and I think they did a really good job. Getting it in her holster is easy enough. You're just going to pull open that little tab right there that holds the little band in place, and then you can slide it in there. Fits just like a glove, and then we'll go ahead and plug that back in. It's a very tiny hole. There we go. Just like that. The breathing apparatus that she comes with, we can slide it up on her face like that to kind of make it look like she's wearing the mask. I guess if we try and make this stay back there, it kind of brings it down though. I mean, it's a little bit big. It doesn't really fit all that well. Seems like the best you can do is just kind of place it there, but then unfortunately this other bit right here just kind of hangs out there. You can't really attach it anywhere. So it would be nice if you could keep it back there where it was originally and then get that to kind of stay. It's a little tricky. Not the best execution, but hey, at least it gives you something extra to do. You also get this Imperial issue blaster, which is pretty standard for the Stormtroopers' arsenal of weapons. So it's interesting how Jyn has it. I wonder if she steals it from a trooper or how she ends up with this. It is pretty similar to what we see in the original trilogy, but this little protrusion right there is new. So it is a slightly tweaked design from what we are used to seeing in the classic Star Wars films. It still looks pretty good. Get a little bit of silver paint there. And then finally you get this little thing. I don't know what it is. I have no clue whatsoever. Is it the Death Star plans? Probably not. But, I mean, it almost looks like a lightsaber. It's got a little loop right there. And it's basically like this very, like, it's got a lot of texture on it, but you can't really see that on camera. And it's like a dark gray color with some silver paint. I have no clue what this is, but it does fit on her belt. You will see that there is a little loop right there. And you just kind of place it right there and it stays. So, yeah, I have no idea what that is. And, I mean, putting it there on her person like that makes it look more like a lightsaber, but I don't think it's a lightsaber, but it's an accessory, and I assume that when we see the film, we'll find out what it is. And finally, you get this display base, and this looks quite good. I mean, it doesn't look as impressive as what we saw with Rey and her ice base, but it's cut out of the same cloth. It's the same sort of thing. It's basically a pretty lightweight plastic with some very nice sculpting to it, very nice texture. And I like the paint on it. I mean, it almost has somewhat of a translucent sort of look to it, but I think more than anything, that's the sort of paint that they applied to it. So it's not just brown. You can see that there are some darker elements to it as well. And if they do make another figure that comes with part 2 of this base, I assume that the other one would connect right there, and then you would make this extra long display base. But, you know, it looks good. I like it. I love environmental pieces like this. I love diorama pieces. And this works. It's actually got peg holes too, which I don't think the snow bases with Kylo Ren or Rey had peg holes. So that does help in terms of getting her stable onto the base. And she does stand very nicely and very securely onto the base. You don't have to worry about her falling off. Maybe she can't stand off the base very well, but once you get her on it, there's no problem. Here's a comparison of the regular release / Target exclusive 3-pack Jyn Erso and the Kmart exclusive Jyn Erso figures from the 6-inch Black Series lineup. Obviously the head sculpts are quite different, but also the bodies appear to be pretty different. It almost seems like they may share parts for the legs and the holster, but as you can see with the Kmart version, she's pretty warped because she's been standing on her base, and I feel that the legs are more rubbery on this figure overall. The regular release version feels more solid, more durable all around. Here's a close-up of the 2 head sculpts, and these look like 2 entirely different people. Neither one of them looks like the character. I don't know which one I like better. I'm kind of inclined to say that I like the regular release better. That one just doesn't look like her, I mean, at all. Neither of them do. I even picked up the basic one, the 3 3/4 inch Black Series Jyn, and that looks a little more like her, I would say. I mean, at least in terms of sculpt, even if paint isn't perfect, but I mean, it still doesn't look all that much like her. So we're left with these options here for 6-inch, unfortunately. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series Kmart exclusive 6-inch Jyn Erso. Overall, you guys, I think it's a nice figure. I don't think it's a great figure, and the main issues I have with it are, number 1, the likeness. It just doesn't look like Felicity Jones. And 2, it's quite hard to stand off of the base. Now, like I said, that's partly due to how the figure comes out of the packaging. Her legs are a little bit warped. Her center of gravity is a little bit off balance, but also her legs are very rubbery. I feel that if they would have used a stiffer plastic, it would have helped with balancing, but Hasbro continues to use this very cheap and inferior plastic in their Star Wars 6-inch figures, as well as the 3 3/4 inch figures for the Black Series and also Marvel Legends. They really need to invest a little bit more into the plastics they're using because it would really help with stability. I do like the costume quite a bit. I especially like the jacket and all of the paint detail that they gave it. The wash they provided it accentuates the detail in it and makes it look quite realistic and quite nice. I like that she comes with quite a few accessories, including the hat, the breathing apparatus, the pistol, the Imperial blaster, the little thingy that hangs on her belt, and the display base. You get quite a bit in this package, and just by paying $5 more over the regular release of this figure. The articulation system on this figure is good. It's well executed, though it could be a little bit better. She could use a little bit more clearance in the shoulders and hips. And I do like the display base quite a bit. I really like these environmental pieces, and she stands in it very nicely. And I'm looking forward to getting the second figure that comes with the other part of the diorama, because I think that's going to be pretty fun. Alright my friends, I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if so, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. It's your support that enables me to continue to acquire new toys and collectibles to review. Without it, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and as always, I want to thank you for tuning in to Victoria's Cantina. Until next time my friends, bye bye!